Hi guys, it's Sarah from Book Nerds and Fangirls, and today I'll be doing my review on Soundless by Richelle Mead. This book, there isn't that much to say about this book, so I decided to make this book a non-spoiler book review, mostly because I don't really have much to say about it, which is really disappointing because Richelle Mead is one of my favorite authors. If you've been around my channel enough, you know that Richelle Mead is my queen, and I love her so much. But this book just failed in my expectations, which is why I'm sad to give it a 4 out of 10 stars. It's very harsh for a Richelle Mead book. I really wanted to like it, and maybe because I went into it with high expectations, and because they weren't met, it dropped down significantly. It's also not an efficient amount of story to actually get into a fantasy aspect of it, which this book is marketed as fantasy, but if you're really in the mood for fantasy, I wouldn't really pick this one up. The fantasy aspect to it does not happen until, which is just like a warning in general for people who want to read it just for the fantasy aspect. It doesn't really come into effect until like much later on in the story, and I'm talking like 3/4 into it. So if you're reading for this book for the fantasy aspect of it, I really wouldn't. This is more kind of like an urban legend type book. I would kind of like do that. It's got like a hidden aspect of fantasy in there, but you don't really know if it's fantasy or not. And since it's marketed as fantasy, it's not really a huge spoiler, but it's just, I don't know, I didn't really like this book, and it really makes me sad because I love Richelle Mead. I love her writing style. I love a lot of her books. She's one of my favorite authors. She is my favorite author. And this book just really disappointed me. It took me way longer than I expected to finish it because I just didn't want to finish it. I didn't care if any of the characters lived or died. I didn't get attached to any of the characters. Doesn't mean I didn't like any of the characters, because Richelle Mead does this thing where you're so immersed in her characters, but with these ones, I didn't really like them as much as some of her other characters that I've fallen in love with, or even hated. I didn't hate any of these characters. I didn't love any of these characters. They're just there to be there, and it really kind of annoyed me, as you would say, and I don't know. It's just, I love Richelle Mead. Like I said, I don't love this book, and which is really sad for me because it does have the aspect of using sign language in here, which I haven't really spoke about a lot, but I do love sign language. I've taken a course or two in sign language, and it's a really beautiful language for people who want to learn it and for people who understand it, and it's one of my favorite languages to use besides English. I didn't really get into any other foreign languages that I took as much as I did sign language, so I was excited about the sign language aspect to this, but with this one, as far as sign language goes, I'm reading a book right now that has a deaf character in it, and it's more fascinating than this one, and it's really sad. It wasn't really that satisfying. I liked the idea of what Richelle Mead was trying to do. I just didn't think she got it across as much as she wanted to, and it wasn't like, I would like to see would have liked to have seen a more action-packed story. It was just really boring, and I didn't like it, and I guess that's all I could really say about it. I don't really, I, I don't really know what to say, honestly. I don't know, honestly, what more to say. Main character's pretty awesome. Well, not awesome, because she was just okay, main character, I think she was the only one that was really character developed in here. The rest of them just weren't as fleshed out as I would like. Like, I really like character development in stories, and this one wasn't long enough to have that. And I really like stories that are fleshed out with detail and great character development and a great plot line and a great hook. And this story just fell flat on so many levels, and I didn't enjoy it. Not to say that people won't enjoy this story, it just wasn't my story, and I'm still gonna read Richelle Mead's other books. I have a Glittering Court sitting on my shelf right now, but after this little tiny bit of disappointment, it's gonna take me a little bit longer to read her other book. Right now, I'm working on a Colleen Hoover book, so I'll probably have a review up for that in a week or two, because I will be going on a trip to Florida again to see my boyfriend in a week. So I'll be having a lot of flight time to read books, so there will be more book reviews posted in May, I would say. Not so much April, but May. Maybe because I do have a busy schedule of work and stuff. So it actually took me not a lot of energy to sit down and film this, but it took me kind of like I really have to sit down and give at least a little bit of a review for this one to mark down my reviews. But there you guys have it. That is my review on Soundless by Richelle Mead. And I will see you with another book review later.